Yeah, what can we do to get excited, you guys? High fives?
Yeah!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do you bleed, Gryffindor?
Not really, it's more green.
More green.
I mean, my blood is actually red.
Yeah, right. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with me. Hey, brother, and welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Jay vs. Ben, where today we are taking on the world's hardest Gryffindor quiz.
Did you stop doing the hand thing? Because it seemed like you were
He kind of did, yeah.
I mean,
Did I start doing? Wait, did I stop
feel
doing
like-
it in general or halfway through?
No, I feel like you like knew I was gonna copy you, and so you were like the world's hardest Gryffindor, and like I mean, we could play the replay, but
Pretty
I feel
sure
like
I said Gryffindor.
I think your hand just sort of like it was like I'm gonna do the and then like maybe
Yes,
it just,
you know what it maybe is? It might
What
be
is
like a subconscious avoidance of it. Yesterday, when we were out in the kitchen area, we were talking to Ethan, the editor, and he was making some hard points on the table like this, and every single time he did it, I was like, that's gonna break your fingers. If you were hitting, you were pointing at you were slamming your single finger into the table, and I was like, I don't know how his finger's not breaking.
It's like,
and now maybe like subconsciously, I'm like, don't do that.
yeah, it's like you got to deliver with, and then ease into the
don't quite hit the
into it.
table.
Anyway, let's go ahead and dive on it. Hey, brother! In case you guys are new to the Jay versus Ben format, this is how it's going to work. Kangaroo, did I say is how it? This is how it is. This is how it is going to work. Kangaroo Cat is on the other end of the camera. She's waving, you can't see her, but we can. She's going to be reading us today's 10 standard Gryffindor themed questions, plus an additional 5 questions from our quizmasters over on Patreon.
Ben and I are going to have to answer all the questions completely by memory, but as ever, if we don't have any idea, we can have Kat give us the multiple choice.
Are you excited?
I am excited. This is a brand new Jay vs. Ben season.
I know. Yeah, like coming into, like last year we did the whole year, and it wasn't until like the last 2 episodes that we knew we were keeping track of scores for the whole year. But I feel like now I'm gonna be abundantly aware.
I know, I'm like, wait a second.
Like you're gonna keep like a mental ledger going of like how are we doing, so that at the end of 2024 we'll discover whether or not or who gets to be the true champion.
Whether or not I keep my belt.
I know. Yes, indeed. Yes. There we go. Yep. Oh, there we are.
That's where you wear a belt.
Just barely.
It's a head belt.
It's a head belt, like Quail Man.
Yeah, like Quail Man.
Exactly.
Who's Quail Man?
It's from.
What do you mean, who's Quail Man?
I'm so sorry, I don't know who Quail Man is. That
I learned
doesn't help
most
me.
of my morals from the TV show Doug and
Yeah.
Hey Arnold.
Oh, it's Doug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Doug.
Doug.
Doug weirded me out when I was a kid. I liked Harold.
Was it the underpants on the outside?
Maybe, yeah,
that
could have been.
Could have been 9. Anyway, question 1.
Let's do it.
Question 1. What is the first name of the founder of Gryffindor House?
Oh boy, it's my boy.
My boy.
Spelling counts.
What?
What?
I mean, it's not that hard to spell.
Hard to spell, but I mean, there could be like a silent
What a
K.
weird thing. Easy things to spell, spelling counts. If it was hard, it wouldn't matter.
Right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Godric.
It is Godric.
Hey, what was it? A pause.
The
I was
Jorts man
sorry, I was
himself.
distracted by how small the pen is on Jay's thing.
Sorry, I'll
What?
increase my pen size.
Please.
What an absolutely great start. I mean, there not enough to be said about how when the prospect of ever creating a Founder series comes to mind, the joy that is the character of Godric Gryffindor, who is like simultaneously talented and like kind of like goofy to the point where it's like he thinks he's like the coolest dude ever.
Right, like he's simultaneously like the moral compass and the comic relief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he wears jorts.
Yeah.
At least
obviously.
Oh, no.
some versions of it.
That's
Jorts.
only in The Sims.
Yeah.
And the, what, 11? When was Hogwarts founded?
Like 1990? No, not 1990.
What?
990.
Like 900.
Okay, I was about to say,
added
jorts
a
in the
millennium.
900s.
Yeah. Take it way back.
Way back. Alrighty, question 2. What type of gems fill the Gryffindor House Points hourglass?
Ooh. Well, okay, I went much thicker.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ruby.
Ruby is correct. I like that's a
Alright.
good size. That's a lot less thick than I thought you were gonna reveal.
Man, when I was a kid, I think in part, and correct me if, okay, so I feel like rubies were rather prominent in early animation to the point where like I feel like I covet like
a fist-sized ruby.
Like a fist-sized ruby.
Like what Abu was tempted by in the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah.
Yes. And then is there also a movie where there's like a skull and inside of the skull?
It's the Rescuers.
The Rescuers.
Yeah.
Is there a ruby inside of the skull?
There is like a skull with some very like crystalline eyes.
Okay, and then there was also Snow White.
Snow White,
yeah.
oh my gosh, which just gave me all sorts of like misinformation about the availability of large, perfectly cut gemstones inside of mines.
Exactly, it blew my mind when I eventually learned that they don't come out of the ground shaped like diamonds.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, they're just getting them by the cartload.
The cartload.
Daily.
Yeah, yeah.
Why do they live in such meager accommodations?
Humble existence.
Humble. Humble the dwarves are.
Humble.
Yeah, indeed.
And now it is time for the first Quizmaster question of the game.
Get on.
This question was submitted by Tara Walker and voted on by patrons.
Tara with an H?
Tara with no H.
Tara with no H? Okay, my sister-in-law Tara has an H, so this is not her.
Okay.
Not her, no.
Not her. But that would have been cool.
In Harry's 4th year, the Sorting Hat song mentioned where each Hogwarts founder was from. Where was Gryffindor from?
Oh. That's sort of the tune Jim Dale is doing.
I know. This is... Is it multiple words?
No.
Okay.
That can't be right.
Okay, maybe there are multiple words to describe. I have something in my head.
Yeah, kind of.
Something came to mind.
Oh, the eraser doesn't work.
Oh no.
The opacity's so far down. I'm like trying to remember the music in my brain as like the sing-song. That's all I can only remember it in that like sing-songy voice.
I have two reasons why I think it's two different things, and I am torn between how I'm getting to each of them.
I know.
But I also can't remember all four.
I know, that's the thing. I'm like, I can remember like two of them because they rhyme. And then I'm like, but is it either of those two?
Right. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I said Glenn.
I said Glenn.
Oh,
too.
okay, good.
It is more.
Oh,
They're in Wildmoor.
Wildmoor, yeah.
Wildmoor.
Each of the places are more like descriptions of what some places are rather than like the names of a town kind of thing.
Right.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Well, Glen is
Well,
one
Glen
of the
is-
places.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Someone's from Glen and Slytherin from Fen. Or something.
Kat specifically.
I specifically warned you not to talk about this because they're in all of the quizzes.
No, but Ben already said he knew the one that rhymed with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But what I was torn because Glenn starts with G and it's like Godric Gryffindor.
Yeah, I know.
Glenn. And then it was like, but then there's also Moor, like Wildmoor, which would then rhyme with Gryffindor. So
right.
it was like.
Yeah, did you go for the alliteration or for the rhyme?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was my B. We'll know it for next time.
Yeah.
Though.
Guess what I'm looking up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, researching between quizzes.
Question 4. How many last-minute points were awarded to Gryffindor students during the end-of-year feast in Harry's first year?
Okay.
Do a little math.
I know. Let me just.
Gotta pay the math budget for this one.
It's that many.
This
right?
many. Okay.
Yeah,
I
right,
feel like
right.
I've got
Let me just.
this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just like, don't be stupid.
Yeah, we got this. Okay. Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
170.
170.
170 is correct.
Yay! So
Good
50,
job.
50, 60, 10.
Yep.
Yes. 50, 60, 10. I must immediately wrote down like 270. I was like, done.
Yeah.
Like, no, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Math.
The thing is, I always come back to this, is I feel like Dumbledore knows Hagrid. He almost certainly knows that Harry and Hermione helped Hagrid get Norbert safely taken away somewhere else.
Right.
And I feel like McGonagall takes away 100 points clean from Hermione and Harry inside of that moment.
And Neville. Yeah, 150.
So it's like, realistically, all he's giving them is, what, like 30 points?
Like 20 points back.
20 points
Right.
back, yeah. Because,
Yeah.
like, he's like, they were just being helpful, and Neville was also trying to be helpful. Draco only got 20 points taken away for the same thing.
Which interestingly means that if you added the 20 points back to Slytherin from Draco, that would be the difference maker.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah.
So he basically gives them 20, and Draco lost 20. So in a way, it is Draco's 20 points.
That makes a difference. Okay, all right. That's a little poetic. I'll take it.
Question 5. In Prisoner of Azkaban, whose portrait was used to temporarily replace the fat ladies as the entrance to Gryffindor common room after she was attacked by Sirius Black?
Something came to mind. This is always one of those things that I know I should remember better.
Yeah.
Like, I know the character. Like, I know what he looks like. I know how he acts.
I dislike this character.
Yes.
So annoying.
Would agree. Very annoying.
Yes. But I can't, like, the name does slip my mind. Maybe it's because I'm just like, I'm uninterested in recalling you. I mean, I have something written down.
Okay.
And I suspect it's
Does spelling count?
Sure.
No.
It's also not that hard to spell.
Well,
maybe a little bit.
It's a little. This is like, the moment you hear it, you're just gonna be like, yep.
I know. I mean, it's...
Obvi.
I'm just gonna turn. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Cadogan.
Oh my god, I said McDuggan. Oh my god.
McNugget.
I know. I think you were mixing it up with like Cormac McTaggart.
I know. It's like
you did spell it incorrectly, by the way.
That's why
okay.
I tried to clear that obstacle ahead of time.
That's okay.
Dougal McGregor. That's another Mick.
Yeah, Dougal.
Yeah. Our parents' dog is named after Dougal McGregor, who is, I believe, it's McGonagall's first love?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who is a Muggle, right?
A Muggle.
Yeah.
That's a McMuggle.
That's a deep Pottermore fact.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
So does that mean Jay has an edge lead?
He does have a bit of a lead.
On the whole year.
Technically, yeah. All right. And now it's time for the second Quizmaster question of the game. This question was submitted by Ben Henderson and voted on by patrons. What spell did Harry use to break the ice to get the sword of Gryffindor? In Deathly Hallows.
Man, it's a good Gryffindor question.
Yeah.
That's a good, I feel like I can hear that crack.
I think I've got the right answer. Something came to mind immediately.
Okay.
But I could totally be wrong.
It feels like I have like a spell that comes to mind, but it seems so overkill for the application. Like there's no way in the world he's like, you know, like dueling the frozen sheet of ice.
Like Expelliarmus. Like, disarm!
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great if that worked? If it was like, oh, I lost the sword.
Yeah. Or even just the entire sheet of ice just came like flying off the surface of the waters.
Oh.
I'm like, what's killing me the most right now is I'm just so impressed with the quality of this question. I just think it's like,
It is a good question.
It's like hat tip, you know? That's a good one.
Sorting hat tip.
Yeah, sorting hat tip, indeed. That's a good Gryffindor reference inside of this here Gryffindor quiz. All right, I'm just going to go with this.
Okay.
You ready? 1, 2, 3.
I said Defendo.
I also said Defendo.
Okay. It is Defendo.
Oh
my
gosh.
Oh man, I was thinking almost like it would have been great if you used Sectum Sempra here because that is like a sword slashing.
Oh, you're right.
And it would have like cracked the ice.
Yeah.
But it seems like Sectum Sempra is like such a...
It's such dark magic.
It's such dark magic. It would feel so contrary to like the nobility of
the act.
Godric.
Yeah.
That feels like a Founders thing where it's like Godric carries a sword and it's like okay to hit someone with a physical sword, but not okay for like Salazar to like Sectum Sempra people or something.
Oh, like, yeah. It's like, what's the difference?
What's the difference? And it's like, well, one is a little more like look you in the eyes.
I was about to say, one's like, from a distance.
One requires a bit more courage and one's from a distance or something.
Yeah.
But like, it makes more sense. It's like, why would you get that close? What are you risking it for, bro?
Right. That's like the case where I feel like Gryffindor comes across as like more brutish, but it's also like fair. Like that's the whole idea behind the sword. Is that, like it's like if you're gonna duel a Muggle, you duel in you know the way that they can duel you back.
Right.
Like, I could beat you with my wand, no problem.
Yeah.
So I was like, you used a sword slash, I used a sword slash.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
It's like I have to actually make contact with a sword.
Question 7. What 2 things happen if a boy tried to enter the girls' dormitories in Gryffindor Tower?
I don't know if a second thing. I know what the obvious one thing.
I know.
I'm trying to decide if I think it is 2 things just by being one thing.
I know. Yeah. Like, it becomes a thing and then you do that thing?
Right, yes, yeah.
That's like, two things.
But like, you're doing the thing is the direct reaction to the thing happening.
Right. I think we're on the same page.
I believe we are.
I think you're on the same page. I don't think you have it though.
Oh, what?
Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's like an obvious kind of like otherwise.
Is there like a reset period or something?
Or like
I don't know.
like a bearding situation, a la the Goblet of Fire, Triwizard Cup.
Right.
Crossing a line.
That doesn't come to mind.
All right. I mean, I've got something, but
Yeah.
I'm making up half of it. So, yeah, we'll see. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
The stairs become a slide and you slide down.
I said the stairs become a slide and an alarm.
Yeah, there's like a loud wailing alarm.
Oh.
Which is like the natural thing that would happen if somebody's trying to intrude on something. And then the creative thing that happens is the slide.
Oh.
Man,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say. It's like one of the things is creative and
one
one of the things is like normal, but like,
Well,
you know what I mean?
well, the thing I was thinking about was like the caterwauling charm.
I think it might be that. It's just not called that.
Right. So that's like the what is it? The guards of Azkaban. What do they always call them?
Dementors?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But before they're called Dementors.
Oh, yeah, the Azkaban guards.
The Azkaban guards.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that's like the
Put outer and the Deluminator.
Right. Yeah. It's
yeah.
like at some point in time we changed the name and then we just the Killing Curse is eventually
Right.
just the
Right.
Kedavra.
Right.
They just don't
yeah.
call it the Caterwall charm just yet.
Yeah.
But that does.
I
Seem
can't
like,
believe not a single
But yeah,
person between when Ron does this and the start of them going to Hogwarts. Like, it doesn't happen before then. Like,
Maybe it does. They're just not in the common room when it happens.
That's true. I guess that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it literally was, the phrasing of it was a loud wailing alarm
Okay.
would go off. So I feel like
Alright.
that is probably the caterwauling charm.
I'm glad I went with alarm then and not siren.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is specifically an alarm.
I know. Okay, good deal. Does that mean we're tied?
I guess so.
You are not tied.
Yay! You know what, Jay? Hey, hang on a second. Whilst I'm ahead.
Oh.
May as well.
Leave while you're...
That's it.
Not
I'm
ahead.
out.
He's not ahead.
I'm
We're
out.
tied.
Hello and welcome everybody once again to the Scenic Route, where as ever we need to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Rocket Bunny. Okay, we seem to live inside of the age of the subscription model, which I'm not going to lie, I actually personally love, because I feel like my brain is just constantly so scattered across all of my various responsibilities. So it's just nice to know that my dog food is going to arrive when I need it to, and my dogs appreciate it too. But it wasn't until I started using Rocket Money that I realized just how much I was spending every single month on things exactly like this. And while overall, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with most of my subscriptions, one of the things that I absolutely love about Rocket Money is they put all of them in one convenient spot. And if there is something that I want to cancel, I can do so with a single tap. And that's because Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills. And Rocket Money has over 5 million users, and on average saves those users $720 per year, and have saved over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. So stop wasting money on things you simply do not use and cancel your unwanted subscriptions by heading on over to rocketmoney.com/J-versus-B. Again, that's going to be at rocketmoney.com/J-versus-B to cancel your unwanted subscriptions. One last time, rocketmoney.com/J-versus-B. Link in the description down below.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Scenic Table, where, as ever, we need to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Factor. Now, look, I don't know about you guys, but a new year always comes with new opportunities. Like, I never think we should put too much pressure on ourselves to try and change our whole person. I mean, you were great, exactly as you were, / currently are. But for whatever reason, the blank slate is a chance to make small modifications. So whether that's taking on a brand new hobby, reading more books, or eating healthier, Factor can pretty much help you regardless of whatever your goals are. And that is because Factor encompasses healthy eating into convenient meals delivered straight to your door. They are chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and my personal favorite, extremely tasty. I mean, who wants to eat bad food? And I'm sliding over here for the next take. Pretend you didn't see that. But Jay, you might be thinking, how does that help me read more books, learn to play the sousaphone? And it all comes down to this. time. Factor meals are ready to go in just 2 minutes. That's less time planning, shopping, and more time understanding what's the actual difference between a sousaphone and a tuba. Question you're sure to be asked if you're learning to play either. You like what I did? I got out of the chair. Factor also offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep me going no matter what is on the schedule. Which right now is a butt cramp. So head on over to factormeals.com/jverseb50 and use code jverseb50 to get 50% off. That's jverseb50 at factormeals.com/jverseb50 to get 50% off. Link is in the description down below.
To be fair, it's not. You can't win if you're tied, and
that's right.
It's also not over.
Come back,
which means
a runaway victory for me.
Yeah. So I needed to come back.
Literally because you ran away, and then I'd win.
Haha. Do you get to continue to answer questions if I'm not here? How does this work?
I mean,
do we have an official rule?
I don't feel like you can just bolt and avoid a loss.
Well, who's to say? Maybe it'll happen this year.
See ya.
The first time ever. It's like, that's it. I'm out.
Bye. Question 8. Who was the head of Gryffindor House after Minerva McGonagall?
Who's the head of Gryffindor after? When does this even happen? All right, let's think. Let's get real here. Boy.
I mean,
this
all I can take is a guess. If this is
know.
true, then I don't actually know it.
There's that. There is that. I'm gonna put that, but gosh, okay. How could it?
There's okay. I'm gonna put this down here. I don't know why. This is like the other thing that came to my mind, but I don't know if I don't have a lot of basis for it. I have basis for this, so
I could guess this.
Okay, all right. Well, let's just turn. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hagrid?
I said Neville.
It's Neville. Yeah.
This is like a timing question. Neville didn't get hired that next year, did he?
Oh, that's a good point. Like, who was
Right.
it after McGonagall?
I wrote Longbottom at the bottom.
Hagrid Longbottom. Right, well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is
Yeah.
like, if Tom Riddle was top of his year, and basically people were like destined to be the next, Minister for Magic or whatever, and he wasn't able to be hired right out of school.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Yeah, did he need time?
Right, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it would surprise me if they were like, yes, Neville, on the other hand,
Yeah.
is ready to start teaching herbology right away. So it seems like it would have to be at least a few years.
Yeah.
Right.
But we do know he's teaching there at least as of the episode.
If there
as of the
if there
epilogue.
is like a head of Gryffindor House in between them, there's no like information on that. Anywhere.
Exactly.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. And now it's time for the third Quizmaster question of the game. This question was submitted by Penelope and voted on by patrons. Who were the 2 Gryffindor beaters when Harry Potter was Quidditch captain?
Oh.
There we go. Okay. I got that one. Yeah.
I feel like I'm making up names.
Like,
They
this?
do kind of feel, yeah.
It's like, I remember reading them, and I guess they're in my brain, but have I talked about them ever?
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, I have a guess. Spelling, I have no idea. All right,
Yeah,
ready?
fine.
1, 2, 3.
Peaks and Coot.
It is...
Peaks and Coot?
I will give it to you. I was looking for first and last names because, like, that's kind of how the wrong answers are written.
Oh.
Can you give me the first and last names?
No.
Nope.
Ooh.
I mean, it's irrelevant because we either both get it or both don't get it.
Yeah,
Right.
it's fine.
So-
I'll go ahead and give it to you. It's Jimmy Peaks and Richie Coot.
Oh,
I
could've
maybe
got
could have
Jimmy.
gotten Jimmy Peaks, but
Yeah.
Richie Coot?
But she kept the like last names all the same and changed all of the first names as the incorrect answers.
Okay.
Oh.
I
I get a point.
Yay!
Yeah.
Richie Coot.
Richie Coot and Jimmy Peaks.
Jimmy Peaks.
Yep. Question 10. What subject did Godric Gryffindor teach?
Oh.
It's gotta be this. But I'm really just jumping to a logical conclusion. I don't specifically know the answer.
Fair.
I guess it could also be this. It could also be this.
This is what I'm thinking.
That's my backup guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I think it's defense against the dark arts.
It is defense against the dark arts.
Yeah,
put
and then transfiguration.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, well, I guess that's what McGonagall and Dumbledore taught.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is like logic. It feels like Gryffindor would obviously be like that sort of like nobility characteristic kind of shining through.
This is why he's okay hitting people with the sword, but not using second
Right.
Septra. Because that is a dark art.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I think Dumbledore teaches transfiguration and McGonagall teaches transfiguration and James, Sirius, and Peter all do the highest achieving aspect of transfiguration, which is...
so does McGonagall.
Well, so does McGonagall, as well. So it's like if... And I've never like known for sure, but it does feel like sometimes like Hufflepuff and herbology seem to have like that sort of like marriage with one another. Slytherin and potions feel like they would. I guess so,
but like it's just because of Sprout and Hufflepuff. But then like otherwise, right, Neville is
Neville's great, but Neville is like the one who like sometimes you could say like prior to becoming such a true Gryffindor, sort of has some of that like Hufflepuff spirit in him.
That's true.
And then I don't know, like I don't know if Charms and Ravenclaw what that would do other than Flitwick, which is so funny because Neville says like Grannon says Charms is a soft subject, and it's like taught by the Ravenclaw. It's like there's no way it's a soft subject.
Right.
Do Charms.
Yeah.
That's what McGonagall says.
Yeah.
Question 11. What color was the fat lady's dress?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Pink.
Pink?
It is pink.
Yeah.
Yay!
Or that one.
For some reason, I was like...
Richie Coot.
And now it's time for the 4th Quizmaster question of the game. This question was submitted by Ferocious Pop-Tart and voted on by patrons. Possibly my favorite patron name that we have.
I know, that is such a good one. And it always makes me crave a Pop-Tart, which is interesting at the infrequency at which I consume a Pop-Tart.
We do have Pop-Tarts in the office, though.
We have some right now?
Yeah, that's one of the snacks we keep on hand.
You guys know why you never hear about Mom-Tarts?
Why is that?
Because of the pastryarchy.
That's actually really funny.
That was pretty good.
I like that one.
I was like,
I have not heard that joke before.
Man, okay, all right.
You didn't just come up with that, did you?
No.
Okay.
That would have been incredible.
What size are the rubies of Gryffindor's sword described as?
Okay.
Which weirdly, I'm currently reading Aragon for the first time, and there are some rubies in this that are described the exact same way.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, is that just like a common way to describe rubies?
I guess, yeah, I mean, must be. Like,
This feels ridiculous.
Right?
This answer?
Yeah.
All right,
it
let's
might
see.
be.
Let's see what we got.
You might be right, honestly.
1, 2, 3.
Egg.
It is eggs. Yeah.
Yes!
Oh,
Rubies the size of eggs. Yeah.
All right. Egg-sized rubies.
I literally even thought egg, and I was like, that's way too big. That's way too big.
I mean, not all eggs are like the size eggs you get at the grocery store.
I know, but still.
It does say, but
it could be like
those are the eggs
Robin's
Harry
eggs.
would be familiar with.
True.
Yeah.
So that seems like if he's using it as a descriptor, he's not like, like wild chicken eggs.
I mean, I think part of this is that like when I originally imagined the sword in my head, it was like, it was a freaking sword.
Right, it's like Final Fantasy VII Cloud sword.
When necessary, you like rest it on the back shoulder because it's so heavy.
It's huge.
And then otherwise, it's like dual wielding type of thing.
Yeah, because I feel like rubies are not like a light.
It doesn't feel light. But I mean, there could be like
So,
magic at hand that makes it light regardless of weight.
Yeah, that's true.
I also think there's like a theory to be had that the Sword of Gryffindor can change its shape to best suit the Gryffindor in question.
Oh, maybe.
So
I wonder if there are any other like goblin-made artifacts like that.
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah,
because it is goblin-made, so I don't know how much like wizard spells affect goblin-made things.
But now,
Does that make sense?
in the present, oh, hang on a second, we're not done yet. I imagine it's now it's more like this. Size.
That looks like a tiny little dagger.
But like if you're adding egg-sized things to it, it's like
Yeah.
I know. Like it has to be. I'm thinking Game of Thrones. Like it's way closer to ice than it is to needle.
Yeah. So now instead, hold on. Now
don't know what that means.
I'll redepict. Hang on a second.
Ice is Ned Stark's sword that he uses to take people's heads off.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very family friendly here.
Very family friendly. Also, Ned, pretty Gryffindor.
Yeah,
pretty Godric-y.
That is pretty great. I did watch the first
Exactly.
season of Game of Thrones.
Right.
So now I'm picturing something more in this vein.
Right?
You know?
Because this is
I
like,
like that the handle is still a stick.
if you're fighting a snake, that's up to there.
Hang on, yeah, so, snake.
Snack. Yeah. There it is.
Hang on, let me make him a little angry.
Oh, always so mad.
Some big old fangs.
Right.
You
need
need his tongue.
this sword to beat this snake. You're not going to beat him with some dinky little.
Yeah.
Well, how did I write on it that time?
I have no idea. Just
What's going on?
I don't know.
Is it working?
Oh, I think it's because it's like the touch thing. Anyway, but yeah, it's like I don't know. Yeah. So eggs. I almost wrote it. Now that's it for me today. I'm screwed.
I'm back. No, we're tied again, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we tied again?
Yeah.
We're tied again.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not as bad as I thought. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We're still in it.
Question 13. At the beheading of Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington, the Gryffindor ghost, how many hacks did it take to render him somehow only nearly headless?
Okay. A number came to mind, but I don't know if this is right. But it does seem.
So I literally just finished watching the HBO series Love and Death.
Yeah.
About an axe murder, and it's like it's so in my brain, and now I don't know like what even seems appropriate.
There is this is like
it doesn't seem appropriate, to be fair.
There's like a real tiny theory that when Harry's in the room of hidden things, in the room of requirement, that there's like a bloody axe, and like that's the axe in question.
Yes, which would be crazy because that would mean that he was beheaded at Hogwarts.
At Hogwarts, yeah.
Which would fit with my theory that at one point in time, Hogwarts was a safe haven for wizard folk.
Yeah.
Instead of explicitly being a school.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
okay. So I have a number.
I have a number. It doesn't feel right, but it's what came to my brain.
1, 2, 3.
37.
I said 44.
Oh, it's 45.
Wow!
So close, Ben.
Close and yet equally wrong.
My God!
Man.
It's such an absurd number for him to still be nearly headless.
How many was he alive
How blunt was
for?
that axe?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to think about it, guys. We don't want to think
Yeah,
about
let's
it.
You know
move
who
on.
would have done it in one slice? Ice.
Ice.
Alrighty. Question 14. What is the only Gryffindor common room password mentioned in the second book?
Oh, in the second book?
Yeah.
Ah,
That was a
okay.
hard one.
Think. Okay, it's not this. I don't think it's this one. This is my guess at the moment, but I don't think that's right. Hold on.
Would you go multiple choice?
I guess we could go multiple choice.
Okay.
A. Fortuna Major. B. Odds Bodikins. C. Balderdash. Or D. Wattlebird.
Oh, man. So both of these were wrong, obviously.
Okay, yep, mine was wrong too. Which I think makes sense because I think this was year 4.
Yeah, they all must be passwords.
Yeah.
Wattlebird. What the? Jeez.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Seems like a fresh word in my brain.
No. All right. I have an answer.
I am like so going. I'm having like a war in my brain. I thought this was a year 1 right here. But was it? Narrow it down to 3 does nothing. That is not helpful. Okay, I'm just gonna have to guess. All right, here we go.
You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
B.
I said A.
It is D. Wattlebird.
It's Wattlebird.
It's Wattlebird.
No, it isn't.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I was
the
also
one.
surprised.
I was thinking maybe it's Fortuna Major because it was describing the mandrake leaves.
No, that's
but
that's
that'd
the
be-
third because they're like trying to get in right at the beginning of 3. I can picture it in the movie specifically, and I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it's. I remember when I like read through the books this year, I was like picturing that scene as I was listening to the audiobook.
Does
if that makes sense.
Fortuna even mean plants, or am I thinking of fauna?
Yeah, you're
That's
thinking of fauna.
Fauna, man.
So I was thinking, well, the one that I thought that 2 of those were just fake altogether. I was like, Wattlebird, I've never heard that before in my entire life. And then Balderdash, I thought was like setting up Neville continuously forgetting the password in 3, which then leads to the eventual leaving of the passwords, like written
somewhere
form.
else.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like the password's Balderdash, by the way.
Right.
So that's why I was ruling out that one, and then I was like, I know Fortuna Major is one.
Oh, I think that one is pig snout.
Oh,
That might be where that one is.
Maybe.
the password's pig snout.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's in book 1 when he can't remember to get in and gets whisked along
Yeah, I
with
think
them
Pig
for
Snout is
the
a book
fluffy escapade.
Man, Pig Snout.
1. Yeah. Yeah, Wattlebird.
Okay, Wattlebird
It's a Pig Snout.
and a hairy.
Good job.
Well, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And now it is time for the 5th and final Quizmaster question of the game. This question was submitted by Tara Walker and voted on by patrons. How many Quidditch games are the Gryffindor team known to have won during Harry's time at Hogwarts?
His entire time?
Yeah.
Okay. Total wins, all of their time. Okay, so... And is this
Gotta be-
Gryffindor or...
Yeah, Gryffindor.
But I'm sorry, Gryffindor, yes, obviously. But like games...
Gryffindor House during Harry's time, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Right, so that...
So,
Why would this... What happens here? And then... I think that's my guess. I think... No! Oh, is that wrong? Okay, hold on. Okay, I've got my answer.
I've got one I'm not sure about.
I am not sure. I know I'm really trying to... I can't remember. Gosh,
Okay, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here, so... Okay.
Okay, you got it? You have an answer?
I think so. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
12?
I said 10.
It is 9.
9!
What?
Oh, man.
I
was
don't,
off
I don't
by-
have the stats to back it up.
Okay,
I'm so
hold on.
sorry,
Okay,
but
let's see. Okay, we know. Year 1,
2.
2.
Right.
Because they lose to the Ravenclaw while Harry's passed out.
Yes, and philosopher, yeah.
Chamber of Secrets, I think they only play 2, right? Because one game gets canceled because of the Basilisk attack.
Yeah, and then also, I know that they don't win the cup until the 3rd year where he loses to Cedric.
He loses to Cedric, so that's only 2, 2, 2.
2, 2, 2, so we're at 6.
And then there's none in 4.
none in 4 and none in 7.
So that means, yeah, none in 4, none in 7. So that means that there's only 3 wins across the next 2 years?
So I think in 6, because Harry can't play the last game because he has detention, I think, with Snape.
Yeah.
And that's the one where he like opens up the portrait hole and he's like trying to get like a vibe from the fat lady. And
Right.
she's like, go in and see. And then
Right.
like they open the door and like it explodes into like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, like we won.
So that must mean that season everybody beat each other in a way, that there was only... that everybody only won 1 and maybe it came down to points.
Right. That's the year where like, that's the year where Ron is like so down on himself. But I feel like he has a game where like they sing Weasley is our king and like he misses a bunch but they still win the game. Is that?
I don't know. Yeah,
Gosh,
it's like
I
it all
can't-
blurs. So I think between 5 and 6, because 5 is the year that like Fred and George don't play a lot and Harry can't play a lot because they're banned.
Right.
And then they miss the Weasley is our king game because they're going to check on Grop.
Right.
And they're
But
thinking,
they win that one.
They win that one.
Because that's where Ron turns it around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I can't. It's baffling. So as Harry is captain, he only wins 3 games?
But he doesn't even play in most of them.
I know.
You know,
That's
like,
man, that's
yeah.
baffling. Well, 12 was wrong. I was like, they win. They just start winning. They win out after Harry's captain. But even when he doesn't play, I feel like that was sort of the thing. Like he keeps being worried they're going to lose, and it's like, they just managed to pull through. Ginny's better than you thought. Or,
But there was the McLaggen game where he's
Yeah.
like throwing
That's
bats
true.
at people and barking
Mhm.
orders and that whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah, that's where he gets hit in the head and he wakes up in the hospital wing next to Ron,
yeah,
who's also there for some reason.
right. Because he had to miss. That's why McLaggen's like, God, okay, whatever.
yeah.
Anyway, I guess we were just wrong.
I know, it's so much detail to remember.
Which means
So,
I guess we tied.
we tied, so we kick off the year with a tie.
Get out the year of the tie.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm not upset about that because
Well
I felt a
done.
little wimbly wombly today on my confidence. so.
Boy, yeah, the Quidditch wins definitely was not pretty obvious. But I'll tell you what is pretty obvious, that you should check out wizardingcandles.com where you can join our Wizarding Candle of the Month Club. Each month we'll have a brand new magically inspired candle. The January candle is called Pretty Obvious, and it smells like lilacs.
It does indeed. It does indeed. I'm really excited about the timing of this particular one because our new podcast as well through the Gryffindor, literally we just cracked the page on Chamber of
Secrets,
and
yes.
Chapter 1, The Worst Birthday.
The Worst Birthday.
So if you guys are interested in like just a way to deep dive into each chapter of the books, I think we finished book 1 a couple of weeks ago.
Almost into each paragraph of the book, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I mean, like when it comes down to it, you can listen to all of book 1 on Audible in about 9 hours, and we have over 20 hours of discussion about it over on Through the Gryffindor. So if you want to go and check that out, or the candles, you can do so at wizardingcandles.com.
Yes. They smell amazing, and there's little fun collectible charms in the inside after all the wax is gone.
And now we need to give a huge thank you to these Quizmasters who support us over on Patreon.
Yeah, a huge shout out to Tara Walker, Ben Henderson, Penelope, and Ferocious Pop-Tart.
If you too would like to try to stump us in a future episode of Jay vs. Ben, you can do so by heading on over to patreon.com/SuperCarlinBrothers and selecting the Quizmasters tier.
Yeah, today was the Gryffindor quiz, but we will be taking on Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw moving forward. So if you have any great zingers for us, be sure to head over to Patreon and submit those questions, and maybe they could be in the quiz.
Link in the description down below. Guys, as always, be sure to let us know how you did on today's quiz in the towel section down below.
And as we kick off a brand new year of competition, if you want to catch up on all of last year's competition, we have a giant 12-hour supercut of every Jay vs. Ben from last year live now on the channel. You can check that out right here. But otherwise, until next time,
bye!